Hello, fabulous superstar Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of October 2024. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boys, it's a very special time, and it truly is so special now. Well, it is going to be on the 2nd of the month that we will have this month's new moon. But this isn't a normal new moon. This is a jacked up new moon. And that is because it is a solar eclipse energy. Now, this solar eclipse is taking place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with profound change, truth, transformation, regeneration, as well as your access to resources, including financial resources at that. Now, it is this eclipse here that's going to be speaking in a conversation of tension with Mars. And Mars now is in a part of the sky for you that has to do with what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life. It has to do with understanding what's fun for you to do, what brings you happiness, creative fulfillment, and the kids in your life are covered here as well. So this square is rather fascinating to me. On one level, as I look at this, it suggests there's something that maybe you want to do, you think it's going to be really fun for you to do, but you're trying to make the financial piece of it come together, or at least attract the resources you need to have it come together for you. Outside of that, this can suggest a moment that invites you to look at where it is that you are hoping to tap into a little bit of luck to access resources, maybe connecting on a grant, loan, bursary, scholarship, or benefits that you qualify for. So you're trying to finesse this time to figure out where that financial support, financial resources might be for you, and having to interact with financial institutions. Well, it can bring about a whole range of emotions, including some frustration. But there's motivation now to gain access to those resources, or maybe to pay attention to what's happening with a key loan in your life as part of moving forward and utilizing this energy financially in some way. So pace yourself at this time. Like I said, there's strong motivation and determination here to make progress. That might be financial, but it's also possible that this energy doesn't play out in these financial institution ways at all. It might be more oriented around what's happening with what's fun for you, what's joyous for you, what you'd rather be doing. It might be more oriented towards an understanding of the changes you've undergone and are undergoing, a new transformative process that you're going to be engaging with, a sense of appreciation within yourself, in the depths of your understanding of self as to what your truth is, what it is that you're seeing play out in your life, and what life is showing you about what power is for you. All of these could come into focus in powerful ways, and you might find yourself with this determination to own your power that carries you forward at this time. As we navigate forward, the 9th and 12th of the month, we've got first Jupiter going retro, and then Pluto going direct. Both planets standing still in the sky as they gear up to change directions are at the height of their power. Jupiter's moving through the foundation of your chart, having to do with the home and the past and your living situation, your family of origin, your parents in particular, where that applies. And this is about a burst of healing rushing in to those relationships and to right where you are at home. Remember, that sense of possibility is high with the station of Jupiter, but as Jupiter changes directions and goes retro, it invites you to reflect, it invites you to go within, it invites you to contemplate that much more deeply what it is for you to truly feel comfortable, including feeling more at home in your body, in your skin. This is a chance to really bring healing to past matters. And from there, free yourself from any regret. This is about preparing for an exciting future ahead, but it starts with you first looking at what was and knowing that your perception itself, once changed, it is as if it puts you on a different pathway for your future. Pluto going direct is a really big deal on the 12th. Pluto is in a friendship part of your sky, and for the most part, since 2008, has been here. The last couple of years, we saw Pluto sort of moving in and out of this part of the sky. And now here we are. This is the last time Pluto is going to change directions in this friendship part of the sky. As Pluto goes direct, Pluto will leave here in November and won't return again in your lifetime. It'll be over 2 centuries before we see Pluto back here. And what that suggests is a very notable occurrence with a friend or within a group dynamic. You're seeing what's underneath the surface differently in some way, whether it's what's complicated, what's messy, what's seems like it's wrought with entanglement and emotion, as Pluto tends to show us. We have all that playing out at this time. And so there are energies here of complexity and of uncertainty, but there's also every reason for hope and excitement as well. This can represent one of those moments that feels as if it invites you and puts you on a fast track, if you will, towards understanding who is for you and who isn't, who other people are in your life and whom it is that they are not. For some, a very small percentage out there, I'm so sorry to say, but it could feel as if some very strong feelings around a friend emerge, whether they're feelings of betrayal, feelings of desire, even the kind that can feel very consuming. These are the types of energies that could be there. But remember, with Pluto, a big lesson with Pluto tends to be harnessing of your own power and focus, but also recognizing where you are powerless is part of the blessing that Pluto can grant us. And you may be looking at that dichotomy at this time as well. But for all that, your friendships are moving in a direction of being a lot more clear and a lot more honest. And even though it may feel like a moment of high emotion or drama or uncertainty, bring some of these lessons to the fore, you find the answers that you need. A lot of big lessons that you've been in since 2008 are wrapping up now as part of helping you to understand your pathway forward. On the 17th of the month, we are going to have this month's full moon, and the full moon takes place in a financial part of your sky. It's different than the solar eclipse type of financial energy. This is about money you earn, money you spend, and self-love and self-esteem are covered here as well. Now, once again, we do get a square of Mars to an important lunar event, in this case, the full moon on the 17th. But the full moon is also hand in hand with Chiron. So there's a lot of feelings of vulnerability at this time. But there's also, thanks to Mars, a lot of determination to improve your circumstances or to transform them in some way. So for some Pisceans, you may have to pay attention to financial matters at this time. Now, if it is that you make money as a healer of some kind, and I know that's a super broad umbrella, right? That can be anything from like medicine to modern medicine, and that can be what I do. I mean, there's so many ways to understand what it is to be a healer in the world. But if that is the case, then the greater likelihood here is that you're motivated and you're feeling very revved up to move your life towards greater prosperity. You're taking steps to improve your circumstances in some way. However, if it is the case that that isn't necessarily how you see what it is that you do to earn your money, or maybe you're looking at how you're spending your money, this can be a time when, yeah, you're really having to think about what's wise to do, what you really want to do, what it is that you might be doing and choices you might be making that are leaving you feeling vulnerable in some way, and where it is perhaps some smarter choices or more heart-centered choices might be called for. And heart-centered choices bring with them peace. Heart-centered choices show you something about what really matters to you. And if you go with that, you're much more likely to make a choice that you can feel good about. Being frivolous isn't going to work right about now. The energy is just way too much about awareness, and the awareness of what you feel, all of it, the messaging, what brings you to this moment in terms of your relationship with prosperity, your understanding of the abundance you're able to have. Well, all of that might stir for you you very strongly now. For all that, though, many Pisceans may not experience this energy financially at all. It may be more oriented around wounds involving self-love and self-esteem that come to the surface now to be healed and to be transcended towards a more self-approving self. Where it comes to matters of love, I'm going right back to that solar eclipse energy because that eclipse is happening in a part of the sky that, in addition to what I mentioned, also has to do with vulnerability and intimacy, really feeling known by another, sharing more deeply with another. The position of Mars is really interesting as well. That heart-oriented part of the sky has to do with romance and flirtation as well. For those of you open to meeting someone new, I think there's going to be some key flirtation with someone, and it leaves you feeling really exposed or vulnerable in some way, uncertain about yourself in some way. And I think that is very likely under the eclipse energy, but we also see that stirring with the full moon energy as well. So pace yourself at this time. If you are making yourself more available and wanting to put yourself out there more, you can make connections with others, but understand that there's a lot that you might be bringing in terms of your own past experiences and messaging. And, we all are, but if you're finding yourself feeling vulnerable, there are types of vulnerabilities that are healthy and others that aren't. If you find yourself just meeting somebody and spilling your guts, for lack of a more sophisticated way to put it, it's important to understand that person that you're just meeting now is not your therapist. No matter how open or vulnerable you might feel, it's a good idea to pace yourself to the best of your ability and understand that your learning, your growth is yours, especially when you're just at the very beginning of meeting new people. But all of this applies very strongly if it is that you're just starting to date somebody. If that's the case, again, that person that you're just getting to know is not your therapist. And whether it's you that ends up, again, for lack of a sophisticated way to put it, spilling your guts. Another way to say it is oversharing, right? If you're oversharing or they're oversharing, it can really change your perception of that person and them of you. So it's up to you to decide how you're going to navigate it. But this is a tendency that might feel very strong, especially around the eclipse. And it can be as if in an instant you see this person completely differently, or in an instant it feels like what was there, it changes completely as well. So pace yourself and be yourself. I like to say that, but especially at this time, as you're navigating forward as part of figuring out whether or not this is someone that you even want to move forward with. And for those of you in an established bond, remarkable energies at play here. Some of that energy at the start of the month with the eclipse might play out in terms of your partner's income. There could be some new opportunities there that they're really trying to work towards, hustle to make happen. But for all that, this energy may also just be about the two of you being more vulnerable, being closer with each other in some way. And the motivation is there to share more of your heart, to be more understood by each other. There are ways to do that come about in ways that are soft and sweet. And then there are ways that can feel rather jarring. And there is this energy of some extreme there because of the position of Mars. It's like you want your heart to be understood. You might feel frustrated. And as a result, you may end up approaching and saying, like, look, we really need to share more deeply. We have to find this understanding. Or it might be your partner that does that. And it may take the other by some surprise, some sense of uncertainty. And yet, for all that, where relationships are good, they grow more honest and stronger at this time. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say, well, I love that Jupiter is standing still and Jupiter will go retro at the foundation of your chart. Jupiter is your ancient ruling planet. So for Jupiter to be changing directions now means that something within you feels like it changes focus as well. You start to feel that much more reflective. You're going that much more inward and finding a deep sense of home within. That sense of being comfortable within your own body, within your own skin, it really can change everything from your relationship to the world and certainly, perhaps more importantly, your relationship to yourself. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.